It has been a little bit since I have recorded an episode, so I'm really excited to be back again and sharing this episode with you today. I have for the last couple of months been working on a new iteration of my program. So for any of you with a coaching program out there, you understand that creating a new iteration, a new version of your program takes a lot of focus, attention, care, immersion into the process. So that's where I've been the last couple of months. But I've got to tell you that the last week or so, I have been seeing this message, this same message coming to me over and over again. And I'm feeling called to do an episode of this podcast about this. It is the topic of our pursuit of success through all these external accomplishments. I have been hearing podcasts about this. I've been in coaching conversations with my clients about it. I've been getting articles about it, right? We unconsciously pursue goals based on all of these external factors, external measurements, and we don't always necessarily even recognize what that means for ourselves or our journey on our path towards success. So I felt really compelled today to talk about that because I am a big advocate for finding success without losing yourself. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you, when you start to pay attention, spend a little bit of time looking at the world around you, even just a little bit, you're going to see that you are constantly inundated with messages about the things that we are supposed to strive for, goals that we should have, the merchandise that we should have in our lives, cars, clothes, houses, jewelry, whatever. Maybe it's what we should look like. There's so many definitions that hit us externally all the time about what this ultimate vision of success looks like everywhere. Movies, ads, TV shows, social media, within our communities, maybe even our family is defining it for us. It's everywhere. And this is something that we've been absorbing for our entire life. So we're starting at a really young age, really unconsciously striving and competing for these outward goals and standards. We don't even realize that we're doing it. And I truly believe that along that path, we start to lose ourselves, our true, authentic selves. So that's why I wanted to have this conversation today. I hope with this episode that you will gain maybe a fresh perspective on what the path to success looks like. That maybe there is a balance that you need to intentionally consider that you may not have thought about before that will ultimately get you to success faster than if you just pursue those external accomplishments. So with that, let's just jump right on in. Welcome to the Next Level Sales Podcast, the podcast where sales, spirituality, and business come together so that you build your dream business, accomplish big goals, and make the world a better place, one conversation and one client at a time. I'm your host, Jessie Quinby Hearns, and after 20 years of having thousands of sales conversations and coaching hundreds of business professionals to multi-six-figure incomes, I am a firm believer that if you identify with being a kind-hearted individual who has big goals for yourself, yet you don't identify with being a salesperson, it is absolutely possible for you to build that thriving high-ticket coaching business while still being completely in alignment with your values and your authenticity. It is absolutely possible to bridge the gap between selling and creating your joyful, abundant dream life. So I'm here to inspire you, motivate you, and share stories to show you how all this is possible. It is a wonderful journey, my friend, and I am so glad to have you here with me. With that, let's get to today's episode. So, this drive towards external, randomly defined accomplishments, where does this come from? Where did it start? Well, not surprisingly, it starts for us at an early age, like when we're born. This drive towards something that we may not even be able to define, this competition, not only with others, but with ourselves. There's this standard that grows as a result of everything that's around us. And we're not even old enough, developed enough as humans to identify or distinguish the validity or the not validity of this path that we're getting swept up on. So, like for me, I remember thinking back, it was just a natural thing. You just tried to get the best grades you could. You were kind of in competition with the people around you to get the best grade in the class, right? You wanted to be an athlete. You wanted to be the best athlete on the team. Then there came colleges, applying for colleges. Who was getting into the best colleges, however best was defined, right? And I saw this obviously, it was in myself. I was competing against myself. I was competing against the people around me. There was just something that was like undefined that you were supposed to strive towards, right? I don't know where it came from. It was just there, right? I don't think that my parents put undue pressure on me to get grades. I know there are some families that really value those sorts of things, and they do put some pressure on their kids or to be star athletes or whatever, right? And we do, as parents, I know, get pride from watching our kids accomplish things that we feel are, really exceptional. I mean, that's just a natural human emotion, I think. But it's funny. I'm a person that really does believe in following your heart, but I still saw in my own kids this striving for great grades, this striving to get into great colleges, right? And there was this competition that was happening amongst their peers at the same time. It wasn't me saying, gosh, I really want you to get into X, Y, and Z college. They felt the pressure. And I was the one that was trying to remove the pressure from them. Like, listen, don't worry about it. It all works out. It's all good, right? What college you go to, what grades you get, these things don't define you, right? Yet this momentum towards external accomplishment, towards these external targets, it's so pervasive in life. It's such a hard thing to escape from because the world around us feeds us this subtle and not so subtle information all the time. It comes from our families, it comes from our communities, it comes from our friends. And then there's this larger influence of advertising and marketing. All of these things are focused on external labels like celebrating wealth and power and titles and how you look and fame and idealized relationships and more, right? And as we progress in life with being in school, graduating, going into businesses, we unconsciously are hardwired to celebrate these outward accomplishments as well, right? The amount of money that you're making, what titles you hold, what kind of car you drive, maybe what clothes you wear, where you live. We hop onto the treadmill of pursuing these goals just as a natural course of life, so unconsciously. And as a result, we find ourselves constantly comparing ourselves to other people. We compare our outside accomplishments to other people's outside accomplishments. And if in our perception we aren't where we think we should be, we don't have the title that we wanted to have, we aren't making the money that we expected to be making, we don't have the outward looks that we think we should have, we are our own harshest critics. And that creates a gap. It creates a gap between what we thought we should have, where we thought we should be, and where we envision ourselves. And unfortunately, then we end up living in this gap space. We live in the gap space sometimes for years, and we beat ourselves up when we live in this gap, comparing, unsatisfied, less than, unaccomplished. We're small, full of self-doubt and unworthiness, maybe even victimhood. Does it sound familiar at all? I know I intentionally, every day, try to avoid comparison thoughts, trying to avoid falling into this gap zone. Because ultimately, what do these thoughts do to us? Gosh, they really just hold us down. These thoughts make it harder for us to accomplish our great dreams. It's like the gap between where we are and where we want to go. And the gap just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger when we feel so unworthy and small and unaccomplished and unsatisfied and less than. I'm laughing, but it's honestly so sad. And when you step back and look at it, you can see this. These thoughts, these comparison thoughts, this gap zone keeps us from living our best, most fulfilled and joyful life. So as I talk about this outer journey, this outward pursuit of accomplishments and goals that just seems to be unconsciously programmed into us, what does this look like, right? It's a world of competition and outward expectations and societal conditioning that's so subtle and very unconscious or subconscious to us. It's a world of labels, labels that we put on ourselves, labels that we strive for and reach for because they are deemed as worthy to the external world. So we put these expectations that we need to strive for these particular labels on ourselves as we move along this outward journey. It's definitely a material world. So it's a world of consumption of things that people have deemed to be important to our world of accomplishment, right? So that's the cars, that's the houses, that's the wealth. It's the outward show of this so-called success on the external journey. It's a world, honestly, of control. Like we're trying to control what we're doing, a hustle culture where when we focus on the control of things, it means that we should, as individuals, as humans, be able to influence and change and reach those levels of success because of our own efforts, our efforting into that path of success, right? So for us, it's going and getting more degrees and accomplishing more things to actually try to close the gap between where we feel we are and that label of success. It's an ego sort of world where we are comparing ourselves to others. And if we aren't there, we end up living in fear and worry and lack. And it's our own ego trying to protect us, also holding us back from greater things because our ego doesn't want us to fail. It's trying to protect us, right? Keeping us small. And there's really truly a ripple effect that happens when we unconsciously live in this gap, in this world of worry and fear and lack and stress and comparison and competition. We are sending out the energy of fear and worry and scarcity and lack and unworthiness and frustration and anger. Have you ever been around a person like that? Have you ever kind of felt that way and known deep inside yourself that you are subtly, maybe not so subtly, impacting the people that you care most around you? It's truly a palpable energy that you can feel. And unfortunately, really a very detrimental energy, not only to us, but to the people around us. In the Western world, we are so conditioned to really only look at this outer journey to solve things through external factors like more training, more credentials, making more money, having more things in our life. And what about the people who actually do get that end goal of wealth, successful titles, cars, clothes, houses? What's their reality? What does it look like for them? Is their journey done when they've hit that marker? Are they satisfied? Are they fulfilled because they've reached this supposed level of success? Now, you've probably heard stories about the big lottery winners. There's tons of research on this. People who win these great big lotteries who lose that wealth, they lose their friends. They grow distant from their family members. They get divorced. They experience a huge shift externally by winning this lottery that doesn't live up to the perceived dream of fulfillment that they think they're going to get when that financial target becomes a reality. How many people have you heard about who were encouraged by family members to pursue certain careers because they could get a job in that field, right? It would be safe. It would be financially rewarding. Only to find 5 years later, 10 years later, that they are miserable and wanting to give it all up, right? So 5 years, 10 years spent pursuing something that never satisfied their soul. It's this external looking like success, but internally, things were really in shambles. I've even heard some of the coaches that I work with say some of the same things. Like there's this big external goal to hit that first $1 million year. And from there, you know what? I'm going to go make 8 figures, right? This huge pursuit of an external monetary target, right? And the external goals just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But when they achieve the targets, they actually hit depression, right? They put in all this work, all this effort, and they got to that end result, and it left them feeling empty. Like nothing within them had changed. The external had changed. This number had been reached, but that was it. That was it. And they were empty, and they wanted to abandon their businesses altogether. And unfortunately, if you look around even just a little bit, you're going to see this pattern repeated in life, probably even within someone you know within your life. And it's really kind of sad, and why I'm so passionate about trying to go a different direction. Why is this happening? What is going on that we're not seeing? Something that's causing such discontent, self-judgment, frustration, and ultimately giving us giving up on our own wonderful, unique, and huge human potential. Well, I think it's all this unconscious wiring that has us so focused on the external achievements solely and so out of touch with our own internal guidance system that we've shut down our own internal voice that allows us to share ourselves, our authenticity, what I call our secret sauce or our superpower. That's what we've been gifted to share with the world. We have shut down that voice. We have lost ourselves ultimately on the path and the pursuit of these external accomplishments, to the subconscious hardwiring that we've gotten for our whole life because we just got swept up on that path so easily and lost ourselves on the way. We've chased the external success that's been defined by society. We want those accolades, and I think that's natural as a human too. We want the accolades from the external world that we're valuable, that we're popular, that we're smart, that we're beautiful, all those things. But that in and of itself can leave us feeling empty. So when we chase those things long enough without being true to ourselves, that outward journey becomes a struggle. And I really believe, I've seen this pattern within my own life, that if we don't learn the lessons, if we don't pay attention to the internal, we will bump around into the same issues of discontent, frustration, lack of fulfillment, just crying out from inside of us, that ultimately we end up feeling burned out, maybe in a complete stall in life, so that we're forced to pay attention to this voice that's crying out to our inner journey, to really let our soul's purpose come forth or live with that in balance with these outward accomplishments. So what is the inner journey? Well, I think it's an ongoing journey that we live throughout our lives, but we have to start first by rediscovering ourselves. So what skills and talents come naturally to you? What within those skills and talents brings you great joy? What sets your heart and soul on fire? What do you do where time just slips away from you and you find yourself in a flow state, doing something that you could do or talk about for hours, that you feel passion and conviction towards? Maybe that you can shine a light on that helps other people as well. I really believe that we're born with gifts that we're supposed to share with others. This is where our authentic self lives. You've seen it in people where they just light up as they talk about something. They get lost in time when they're working within that area, that topic, that business. You've also seen it when someone takes a path where this authenticity isn't in play, where they aren't doing something they think they should, where they just don't emit the same energy, and maybe they even seem lifeless or disconnected. Now, this doesn't mean that if you own, say, like a car wash, that you have to be passionate about car washes. But maybe you're passionate and have a true inclination towards business strategy and efficiency, and you can apply your passion to the car wash. You can apply your passion towards growing businesses, right? You can apply this passion to so many things. Like I coach sales and lead generation, yet I'm the opposite of what you would consider a typical salesperson. And I really found my old marketing job years ago really kind of boring. But I find funnels fascinating. I love digging into what buyers need from a business to provide buyers with an outstanding experience. Like, what draws people to want to buy from you, right? I love this. And I really love helping business owners reclaim themselves truly and at a heart level so that they lead their businesses with their personal superpower, their secret sauce, as I call it, because it gets you into the flow state and away from resistance to your business. It's empowering people to be themselves so that they can build a highly successful business that they actually love. When we live and foster our authentic selves, when we live in alignment with our values and our strengths, we shine. We're like a magnet. We stop resisting what we're doing and start feeling more fulfillment, confidence, peace, contentment. And our potential clients feel that from us. They feel it from us so much they're drawn to that energy and they want more. So there's a bit of reorienting that needs to happen in the pursuit of the big external goals to make sure you're also lined up with your heart, your purpose, your values. This is not an either or. It's not one or the other. It's a both. You are building your business in alignment with your flow and eliminating resistance while still pursuing wonderful, big external goals. When you intentionally work on inward goals, these inward goals that I'm talking about, it actually escalates your outward journey. It shifts your energy from resistance and fear to confidence, truth, and excitement. And as a result, what you feel by focusing inward is you're going to feel gratitude. You're going to feel unshakable because you're going to be confident about stepping into your authenticity. You're going to feel contentment, peace, joy, fulfillment, trust. You're going to feel, honestly, you feel a palpable shift in your business, in yourself and in your business, in your connections with your potential clients. It's real, it's genuine, it's true, it's connected. And it feels so different from just the pursuit of the external goals on their own. And there is a ripple effect here as well. The ripple effect of that contentment, of that fulfillment, of that trust, of that confidence. And that's what becomes the magnet drawing people to you. Yes, the internal journey is still work, and we don't think about going in this direction to fix the pursuit of going after our external goals. But the key here is finding that balance, the blending of both, the journey towards the external goals while honoring the internal soul purpose, your heart, your values, your passion that you're supposed to share with the world, living to your authentic and aligned self. When you balance these, it's in the balance that the magic happens. It doesn't happen when you just focus on the external goals, when you just pursue the external targets, right? And you won't get there just by pursuing the internal journey, by going inwards and rediscovering yourself. Yes, that's wonderful. But you need the external goals and targets to share your gifts with others, to make the world a better place, to have a bigger and more positive impact. The external desires propel you forward. They help you grow. They help you live to your highest soul's purpose. They help you reach levels within your business that you never thought were possible. So you're probably saying, okay, Jessie, enough of the woo-woo stuff. What does this have to do with lead generation, sales, growing my business? Well, it's absolutely everything. Let me ask, how many ads have you seen today that use, okay, you're going to make X amount of money as the hook, right? They're everywhere. Sign up today. You're going to make X amount of money in the next 6 months, right? It's well known that we're conditioned to want that magic pill that in the next 3 weeks, we're going to earn $1 million. Okay, I'm exaggerating. It's not far off. And listen, I get it. Money, influence, sex, youth, ideal relationships, beauty, six-pack abs, perfect health, all of this stuff sells. All of it captivates people's attention. We're human, so it draws us in. And these ideals, these values have stood the test of time. We all want these things, right? So it's no wonder we're drawn to marketing that offers solutions to these ideals. And we are literally bombarded with it all day long. But when the solution is so focused on those external targets solely and only addresses how to make money fast or lose weight fast or how to regain your youth fast, the end results often feel empty. Because when you stand at the finish line, the outward accomplishment in hand, you're still the same person inside with the same values, same perspectives, same thought patterns, same habits. You're the same you. There's just this different exterior. And that's where there's a disconnect. But it doesn't need to feel this way. It takes just a bit of conscious, intentional effort to shift everything. For the coaches that I've worked with, most of them are on the right path. It's just that they've been coached to do things to help them become successful, to make that $1 million year in the next 6 months that are out of alignment with them and their natural strengths and how they want to treat their customers. Like, for example, I have worked with a lot of coaches that have been given a very pushy sales script, right? But these coaches deal with very sensitive clients. So, for instance, someone who is coaching people who've suffered with trauma. Is it a good thing, a right thing to try and use a pushy sales script with a potential client who has lived with trauma their whole life? I don't think so. I mean, personally, I don't think pushy sales scripts are the right way to deal with anybody. Nobody wants to be on the receiving end of a pushy sales script, right? Or how about the people? There's so many people that I've talked to that are out there DMing 20, 50 or more cold people, like in Facebook groups, across Instagram, whatever, LinkedIn, people who you don't even know or don't even know if they want or need what you have to offer. Now, again, this to me intuitively is just the wrong way to go about selling something, because I'm going to tell you, when I'm approached that way, that person is off my list for good. I won't work with people who are trying to push things on me that I don't want or need. It's just a matter of respect for the human being that you're interacting with, right? So these tactics that are out of alignment with your values, with your natural strengths, with how you want to treat your customers, can they work? Yeah. But how does it end up making you feel? Most people that I talk to say it's awful, yucky. And then that becomes not sustainable, because lead generation needs to happen all the time in your business for you to stay in business. So if you don't like DMing 20, 50 people a day, how are you going to feel 7 days in doing this, day in, day out? How are you going to feel 45 days in, DMing 20 to 50 people every single day? 6 months in, if you haven't guessed, you are not going to be having fun. You are not going to be enjoying life. You are probably going to stall. You're probably going to resist. You're probably feeling burned out and maybe even hating your business at this point. And then, of course, success becomes harder and harder to reach. You start to doubt yourself and think you're not worthy, that maybe having this business just wasn't for you after all. You weren't destined to do this coaching thing or whatever your business is. And I'm saying, no, that's not it. Unfortunately, all of these feelings, all of these beliefs then are stemming from and started with the pursuit of an external goal while neglecting your inward authenticity, your superpowers, your value, your heart and soul, passion, right? You get on a trajectory that's going in the wrong direction and creating that gap place for you to live in that has you burned out, frustrated, stuck, and hating your business. That's such a shame. And I get it. There's so many people that are out there luring you with this promise of 100K months in the next 6 months or the perfect body in 6 weeks. I mean, you get what I mean. However, I can tell you that all you need is simply a slight shift to this trajectory to set the path right. An integration of you and your ideal client's needs into the equation, not a cookie cutter approach, but one where you let your individual light shine in your lead generation and sales processes, where you let your individual superpower show in your connection with your clients, where you lead your business with your authentic energy and self, connecting with your buyers so that you're forming real, genuine, mutually beneficial relationships, where you are making this world a better place because you are sharing your special passion and gifts with one new client at a time. This is how you build a sustainable, fulfilling, and successful business, a business that reflects your values, that is true to you. And as a result, you will be proud of it and it will thrive for a long time. Simply put, resistance within you, within your business, results in less success. This is not rocket science. And fun and authenticity draws your clients to you. They're like a magnet. They want more of that. They want to hang around you. They want more of your secret sauce. I have seen this and experienced this in the business world for a long time. And I urge you to just look around a little bit and you will see it out there as well too. It's truly an intentional choice to allow your superpower to shine. And it's an intentional choice to not compare your journey to anyone else's, to resist the money at all costs lure and walk in faith to when your light shines, you'll find people out there who really want you and only you to help them. And it's not hard to build a lead generation system that can support both these big external goals while highlighting the real authentic you. But sometimes as business owners, we are really close to what we do. So it's hard for us to see what steps to take, how to position ourselves, what to say that will capture our clients' attention. So it's helpful to have guidance on what steps actually work well to bring your ideal clients to you, to have someone as a mirror to reflect back to you the things that you can't see from where you stand. And of course, as coaches, that's where we support our clients on their journey of growth, right? The beauty is, once you create a lead system like this, it propels you to success way beyond where you would have gone had you only focused on those external accomplishments and targets solely on their own. So probably what you're hearing within this episode, what you create for your lead generation system is a long-term investment for your business, whatever direction that you start on. Your lead generation system reflects who you are as a business owner, and what you do for your lead generation system will attract a certain type of client to you. That could be good, that could be bad. So you want to be sure that what you are putting out there aligns with you, reflects your values and who you best serve, so that the process of enrolling and serving more and more clients becomes easier and easier and more aligned. You want all of the parts of the puzzle to come together in a way that makes sense, feels good to you and to your client, right? You want this to be a win-win. You want the path to you as easy and resistance-free as possible for your clients. You want them to see you as a trusted advisor who's invested in their success. And this is so crucial in a world where there's so many people out there just trying to sell you something that you may not even want or need. And so I like to say, while all those business owners are running towards the right to chase after their buyers, why don't you consider going left, standing out, shining your true self as the light to your ideal buyers? They will see you and move towards you. They will be drawn by your light. I can promise you this for sure, because your buyers crave real and genuine these days more than they ever have before. So get ready to lean into your best you. It is absolutely so much fun. Now, if you want to know more about how I can help online coaches build an automated yet aligned and authentic to you and your ideal buyers lead generation and sales system to help you enroll more high-ticket clients, see the show notes for a link to my free mini training called From Endless Exhaustion to Effortless Enrollments. These trainings share my methods in 2 quick videos, and if this episode resonated with you, you might enjoy what I share in those mini trainings. Wishing you a great day and a wonderful week. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Now, before you go, if this episode resonated with you, I would absolutely love it if you would follow the podcast and leave a review so that we can reach more entrepreneurs just like you who are eager to start selling and fueling their dream business without feeling all those things around sales. And if you'd like a behind-the-scenes view of my life, hop on over to Instagram.com and follow me at Jessie Q Sales Coaching. Be sure to say hi and let me know you found my podcast. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great week, my friend. I will see you soon.